Hi, everybody. We just want to take a moment and thank everyone who helped us on our journey to raise funds for Hearts of Hope International. We set out with a goal of raising $55,000 for a utility vehicle that's needed for Hearts of Hope International to carry out vocational training in Kenya. And what we found along the way was both challenging but quite rewarding.
We honestly didn't realize what we were getting into and the amount of work that it was going to take and effort to do that. All the phone calls, emails, messages, videos sent out. It was a big effort, but truly we were the ones who were blessed at the end of it.
Totally. The end result is that with your help and your support, we went over our goal and raised just over $70,000.
Pretty amazing.
So, as you know, God knows the plans He has for us, and that's so true here, even though we didn't. So, anyway, we want to thank our event sponsors first of all. At the copper level, we have Barb's Pasties and Pizza, Apartment Services Company, the Delfino team at Pillar to Post Inspections, Kevin and Deborah Adkinson, and Margie and Tillman Dozier. At the bronze level, Vision Computer Systems, the D.A. Alexander Company, and AJR Home Sales. Silver level, Ken Dunaback from Michigan Mutual Mortgage. At the gold level, Paul and Susan Lamoureux and Ronane Associates. And our platinum sponsor, America's Preferred Home Warranty.
We had several whole sponsors too.
Quite a few. We have Bolivan and Tiano CPAs, Epiphany Kitchens, Mastercraft Jewelers, Bondi Law, 1-7 Construction, Five Shores Brewing, The Session Room, Community Financial Credit Union, Westminster Title, NRC Builders, Rich Sparks Realtor, Chris Staub Realtor, Ed and Barb Funky, Natalie Garrett, Dazzling Designs, Judy Bibbings Realtor, Erica Myers, and Lori Myers. And donors, I'm sorry we can't mention everyone, but every contribution made a huge difference in our success. And that is the money that was raised for family movie night, donations from places we couldn't have even imagined,
Cash donations,
cash
many
contributions from people who couldn't make our event, and obviously everyone who provided amazing items for our silent auction, which included trips and sports tickets and memorabilia and dining and
Oh yeah, Red Wing tickets from
Red
the
Wings.
Matherleys.
yeah, it was great. And we want to thank our volunteers who worked all day in the heat at the golf outing, and that was Ken Dunaback, Chris and Maggie Staub, Michelle Sosha, Kate Sell, Erica Myers, Beth Barton, and Al Berry. And a big thanks to Kim Chenoweth, who managed the golf outing for us, because she did just an outstanding job, and we could have some fun at it.
We got to have fun because of Kim, and we're grateful for that, Kim. You did a great job, and you know, I don't know who was in charge of the weather, but that day it rained everywhere, even within a half a mile. I mean, it poured here in Michigan, and it did not rain, but a little sprinkle on the golf course. We were just so fortunate to be able to have this go off without a hitch at all. You know, nothing went wrong. It was just that great.
It was fantastic. And finally, we'll want to thank Salem Hills Golf Club for doing an outstanding job hosting our outing from start to finish. It could not have been better. And obviously, thank you to our golfers, because without you signing up and showing up, we could not have even had a golf outing. So thank you so much. And now we're going to jump on a Zoom call
Yep.
with Kevin at home and Nancy and Pastor Joseph and Jane in Kenya.
Let's go.
Jumbo. Jumbo.
Jumbo, jumbo.
Greetings from Kenya. I'm here with Jane and Joseph in their home while I'm here visiting and working for 2 weeks. I've been here for a week now, and we have had a very productive week. Jane and I have made the rounds to visit several of our students at different vocational schools, which has been great for me to see the actual facilities that our students are at, and to get to meet them and encourage them. And really the highlight of the trip has been, this last week has been, we did a banquet and also a graduation with our 2 catering cohorts. So we had 49 women that graduated with a certificate for training in catering. They took a 3-month course, and the banquet was on this last Wednesday, and that was more just the ladies celebrating with the ladies and a big meal. And we did have a couple guests, but it was mostly just a lot of singing and dancing and celebrating, which was wonderful. I love the way Kenyans celebrate everything, and with good food too. And then Friday was a big highlight. We had our graduation ceremony, and the women were, we had gowns for, graduation gowns for them to wear. And I think for many of them, it was probably the first of any type of graduation ceremony they had ever attended, because most of them maybe made it as far as like the equivalent of our 8th grade. So it was an incredibly joyful celebration. And the only thing that could have made it better is if Kevin was there, but unfortunately he couldn't make it this time. But I think the two of you can probably speak a little bit to the impact of the banquet and the celebration on the women. So I think people would love to hear from you, your perspective on that.
Yeah, I think that was really great. As Nancy has mentioned, is most of these women who graduated yesterday is that the farthest they have gone is like 8th grade there. And so putting on the gown and the hat like a graduate of a university, oh my, you have no idea the self-esteem that you create in them. The speeches that they were even giving is like the whole thing about the empowering a woman and how you empower a lady, you empower a society. It is just huge. Like yesterday was really nice to see them come alive. Like, yeah, there are people who think about us, people, they know we count, we can make a difference in our community. And already these ladies are, like, they have joined small groups of catering together in the needs for the community. And the men, are saying, the improvement that they have. It was so nice to see more than half of the men, the husbands of those wives, come for graduation yesterday. That was nice. And we had somebody, one of the pastor speaking, he said like, oh, let the women come and hug, the husband. And to see that in our culture, like a lady coming and hug in public, you don't see that normally.
I have video of that, Deb. I'll send you the video.
That was really nice. So yeah, we are excited about all things, the way it turned out yesterday.
Great.
And I think, Jane, if you could share what you learned yesterday from Mary, the one that you had me talk to that got the job in Kajabi.
Okay. Yeah, there's this young lady who graduated yesterday, and she was telling me, I think we have not met since she left class, but we met yesterday. And so I was just asking her where she has been, and she said, oh, I got a job immediately after we did the exam. And I'm like, for real? And she said, yeah, immediately after we got the class, I got a job in a restaurant and I'm the best chef there. So that was good news to hear. And I held her hand and I said, you don't leave before you see me. So I have to take her to Nancy so that Nancy can hear from her mouth that after doing that class, she already has a job.
Wow.
That's phenomenal.
That's amazing.
It was
Yeah.
great. It was great.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just the way that she held herself, you could tell like she was proud of herself and she had some confidence. And she told me when I talked to her that the manager of the restaurant cannot let her go anywhere because she's the only one that can make pizza and burgers and they love her cooking. So it was really great. Yeah, it was great. So
I love
and I think they were even talking about so the catering class, we rented a hall from a church in the village, and the elders were telling Jane, come back and do more training and use our hall, and just an open invitation from the community to continue doing the vocational training. So it was just it was an amazing day.
Wow.
On a right note, the men said this on a lighter note. The men said because the women have been trained on catering, so the men are saying we need to plan a class for them so that they can be taught how to eat.
The good food.
Oh. So I'm curious. Do many people know what you guys are doing by buying this vehicle? And if so, how, why don't you say again how this is going to make your life easier?
Jane, I think you should talk about how the vehicle, because you're the one that, it's really impacting.
How the vehicle will?
How the vehicle will impact things.
Yeah. The thing that I can't wait to see is to see that car branded Hearts of Hope. Now that will market all of it. Just to go through those villages, those little towns where I usually go, paying school fees for the kids, wherever I go with that car. Now Hearts of Hope will be even more known just by branding that car with that logo.
Yeah.
Cool. Very nice.
Love it. And so how's shopping going on that truck?
How's the shopping going on the truck?
Good. We have settled for a brand new 0 mileage. So there were temptations to go a different route, but they have been overcome. So we'll go for a brand new. So we went to Toyota Kenya because after consulting, we had thought we'd do the Isuzu for the one for 55, but consulting people say like Isuzu will not give us, good service compared to Toyota. So we settled to go for Toyota 2.8 L. We are almost, we should be able to finish ordering by next week. We are still trying to negotiate the price because so far we have settled for 73,000 US dollars, but we are still hoping we can negotiate a little bit down. So by next week, Lord willing, we can pay like 20% or 30% of the amount, and then will be ordered and should be here by latest December, early January. That's the timeline that they are giving us. Latest December, early January, we should have it.
So in the beginning, when Deb and Lou started talking about fundraising, we were trying to come up with a goal, like what are we shooting for? And so we had some quotes from Isuzu and from Toyota, and we decided we would just go with the Isuzu because it was, so expensive to get the Toyota. So we started with a goal of $55,000, but I think the Lord knew all along that we needed the reliability of the Toyota. And so the fact that we raised closer to $70,000 just puts us in a great position to be able to get a brand new vehicle with the warranty. We don't have to worry about a previous owner and how they treated it. So I just think everything has really lined up nicely that we feel good about being able to buy a high quality new vehicle that's going to take us for many, many, many years and also be easy to service here. So when it does, when we come off the warranty and we need to have service, there's ample places here where a Toyota can be serviced. So I think it just all worked out exactly how it was supposed to.
Amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys for letting us be part of this. We really we learned a lot during the process about ourselves, about fundraising, about doing golf outings, and about perseverance when people don't return your calls. And we've said this before. We're so focused on getting people and contacting people that didn't really respond to us that behind the scenes, all these wonderful people were donating and signing up, and it was really remarkable to be part of and to watch. So thank you guys. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah. I think
Thank you.
there's
you
one,
guys did an awesome job.
there's
Phenomenal.
one story since I've been here that I kind of want to share. When we were at the golf outing and I spoke and I talked about the fact that up until very recently, we've been only offering scholarships for vocational training. So, like barbering, hairdressing, plumbing, electronics, so like certificates, like an associate's degree equivalent in the United States. And right before the golf outing, we had discussed amongst the four of us branching out because Jane had some people that were appealing to her for teaching and nursing. And so we had just approved our first teacher right before the golf outing. And while I was speaking and talking about that, I think the Lord really moved the heart of someone in the audience. And they came up to me afterwards and said, do you have a teacher that you need to be sponsored? And I said, yes, Margaret. Is her passion is teaching. And I told him a little bit about Margaret, and on the spot, he donated $3,500 to pay for Margaret's tuition. And Jane and I had the privilege to go and meet with Margaret earlier this week. And I had some one-on-one time alone with Margaret to encourage her. And I told her that story, that I told her story at the golf outing, and someone wrote a check. And I mean, the tears of joy and gratitude were, I cannot even put into words how amazing it was. And she told me that a couple of years ago, she saw a jacket, like a blazer, like a women's blazer. And it's a light blue color. She was wearing it. And she said, I saw this jacket around 2 years ago. And I said to myself, one day I'm going to be a teacher and I'm going to need a jacket. So I'm going to buy that jacket, believing that one day I'll be a teacher. And the day that I came to visit, she wore that jacket and she told me that story. Oh. So it was just a beautiful thing to see both sides of it, you know, to see the heart stirred in the States, and then to come and hear Margaret's story that, you know, I think it was just planted in her that one day she would be a teacher. So it was really beautiful. Yeah, it's a great experience. Yeah.
And that I did share that photo with the donor, and she was so moved. She was so touched to see it.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's been great. I've had the opportunity to spend one-on-one time with a lot of our students, or I'll have them in a group. Like at one of the schools, we have 6 students there. So I spoke to them in a group. So I'm either meeting with them in small groups or one-on-one individually. And, you know, what I say to them, how I encourage them is different for, you know, every student. But there's one thing that I tell every group or every student, and I tell them that, you know, Hearts of Hope, we don't want anything back from them, right? We're giving them the scholarship. We want them to have the training. But what my personal expectation from them is, what I ask of them is 3 things. And I tell them all the same 3 things: that I want them to trust God, because he's the one that's going to give them the ability to learn. He's the one that's going to give them favor to open doors. He's the one that is going to create opportunities. So I want them to trust God, number 1. Number 2, I want them to work hard, because this is an opportunity that not everybody gets. You know, we get applications that Jane and I have to turn down. So the fact that they're chosen for this scholarship, they need to work hard. And then the last thing, the 3rd thing, is to be kind. And what I tell them, I mean by that, is that when they're in a position in the future to be generous to someone else, that our expectation is that they would do that, so that this would have a ripple effect in their communities. And I tell them all, when I come back, because my intention, Lord willing, is to come back and check on them again, I'm going to ask them, what are the 3 things I asked of you? So they all had to memorize before I would leave them, what are the 3 things? And they all had to tell me the 3 things. So it's very clear to our students what our objective is and what we're trying to accomplish. And I mean, for the most part, they are all extremely grateful and appreciative. And we heard reports from teachers and principals that they're very serious and they're working hard, and they're good students. So I think Jane and I are feeling really good about the updates that we've had on the students. So it's been great.
Thank you.
Very cool.
Kevin, you want to wrap us up?
Yeah, it's just amazing. I'm just sitting here in Plymouth watching the activities go on in Africa. Just you watch the people rejoice, and although Nancy needs to refresh her dance steps a little bit, it's really amazing. I'm showing people at work some of the videos, and just to see the joy in their faces is very rewarding for us. So for certainly for the fundraiser, Deb and Lou. Just it's unbelievable to think about what you were able to accomplish there in the last year, and the impact it'll have in Kenya. It's just truly amazing.
Well, we had a lot of
It
help.
wasn't just us.
We had a lot of help. We're just one small part of it, and we're doing another one next year, another golf outing next year. So
Yeah, but you had to start the flame, so.
well,
I have had the thought many, many times in the last several days as we have gone up and down the mountain that I don't anticipate these roads getting any better. They are pretty horrible. They are bad. It's almost like, I haven't been here because of Corona for almost 2 years. And, I forgot how bad they are. They're so bad. And every time we're on these roads, I'm like, these roads are just not going to get better, but thank God it's going to get easier for Jane and she'll be safer. And I must say, she has become, in the 2 years I've been gone, like an excellent driver. Like if you saw the conditions she has to drive it, and man, she just owns the road. So I can't wait for her to have an appropriate, safe vehicle, because the roads are really horrendous. They're bad.
well, I got to
really
tell you,
bad.
listen to your story. I think the first thought in my head again, this is dangerous, was we're going to have to find a road grader for you.
Good luck.
That's a lot more money.
Yeah.
Oh, they're so bad. Yeah, they're really bad. So.
It's a mama singing songs about the Lord. It's a daddy spending family time the world says he cannot afford. These simple moments change the world. It's a pastor at a tiny little church. 40 years of loving on the broken and the hurt. These simple moments change the world. Dream small, don't buy the lie, you've got to do it all. Just let Jesus use you where you are, one day at a time. Live well, loving God and others as yourself. Find little ways where only you can help. With his great love, a tiny rock can make a giant fall. Dream small. It's visiting the widow down the street, or dancing on a Friday with your friend with special needs. These simple moments change the world. Of course, there's nothing wrong with bigger dreams. Just don't miss the minutes on your way to bigger things. No, 'cause these simple moments change the world. So dream small, don't buy the lie, you've got to do it all. Just let Jesus use you where you are, one day at a time. Live well, loving God and others as yourself. Find little ways where only you can help. With his great love, a tiny rock can make a giant fall. So dream small. Keep loving, keep serving, keep listening, keep learning, keep praying, keep hoping, keep seeking, keep searching. Add up the small things and watch them grow bigger. The God who does all things makes oceans from rivers. So dream small, don't buy the lie, you've got to do it.
Fair warning, 510 once, 510 twice. Sold, $510.
You can help with his great love. A tiny rock can make a giant fall. Yeah, 5 loaves and 2 fish can feed them all. So dream small, dream small. small.